Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar on the reinforcement bending detail tools inside of the advanced PowerPack for Autodesk Revit. Thank you very much for joining me. For those of you that don't know who I am, I know some of you do, my name is Simon Dickinson. I'm the BIM Technical Manager here at Greatek in the UK. I've been with Greatek now for 19 years, advocate of BIM for well over 18. I'm an Autodesk certified professional and an Autodesk certified instructor. I'm also a member of the Autodesk Consultancy Implementation Framework as well, which is one of the techniques that we use when we come in to help train you up on the Autodesk software. Feel free to drop me any suggestions that you have on the PowerPack via email. There's my email address, simon.dickinson@greatek.com, and feel free to join me at LinkedIn at sdickinson1. Okay. For those of you that don't know who Greatek are, we've been in business now for over 30 years. Our head office is just south of Paris. We operate in 11 countries, 48 offices and growing constantly. We are a very healthy company. We've grown rapidly in the last 4 years, as you can see, and we are now probably one of the largest Autodesk partners in the world. As you can imagine, we do have a lot of staff, but predominantly our staff are technical. The majority of us work either in the R&D centre in Romania or as industry consultants, which we are focused on basically delivery and outcomes, and making sure that you get a lasting benefit from any investment that you make in either our own products or in Autodesk products. And we've worked on lots of projects across the globe, and we manage them projects with our project management team. We are customer centric. We've worked on millions of projects in the last 30 plus years. We've got a 98% excellent and good feedback for all the support that we do, and within our support cases from the support desks. And we're currently running well over 3,500 training courses, both in our training rooms on site and also remotely. We like to break our business down, into our 4 pillars. So we have our create pillar, which is the design software, whether that's the Autodesk software, the BIM solutions, Revits and the like, or the manufacturing solutions, but we enhance that with our PowerPacks, and that's why these PowerPacks come in. They're designed to enhance your experience of the software, either to add additional functionality that doesn't exist, or to give you better workflows and increase the productivity that you can get out of these tools. Our main 4 PowerPacks that we have at the moment is obviously we've got the Revit one, we've got one for Advanced Steel, we've got one for Inventor, and we also have one for Vault. From a simulate point of view, we have various simulation softwares, in particular our advanced design software, which the concrete tools can actually communicate with. So a lot of the things that we can do within the concrete tools in the PowerPack is we can use the results from advanced design to actually help us to design our reinforcement in there, check for structural integrity, look at the loadings, etc. From a fabrication point of view, we have a tool called Advanced Workshop. And Advanced Workshop is what takes our deliverables to a shop floor, through to the finished fabricated products, and then out for site delivery. On our Manage, we have our OpenTree platform, which is our document management system. And the document management system, although it be an internal document management system, can actually then communicate with pretty much every single external CDE out there, from BIM 360 to 4 projects, etc. So in this webinar, we're going to be looking at the bending details, and there's a few areas for this that we have, and you can see them there highlighted on our tool under the reinforcement schedules and our bending details. So there's various things that we can do in here with various tools for both the schedules and also our bending details, and these also link into the tool next to it, which is our generate drawing tool as well. So the concrete tools are in part of what we call the premium concrete PowerPack for Revit. So the PowerPack for Revit is now available in 4 different flavors with concrete design extension further. So we have the standard one, which we give away free to all of our Revit customers. So you buy a copy of Revit, you automatically get standard. there's the option to upgrade to the professional version, which gives us an extended set. Then we can get premium concrete on top of that. Premium concrete, obviously, they're cascading. So if you buy premium concrete, you automatically get the standard and professional tools. We have the ultimate, which introduces the premium steel. So this includes basically the PowerPack for advanced steel, for steel fabrication drawings. And then we've got the concrete design extension, which then adds in the power from advanced design to be able to do the analytical calculations on our structural model. So when we look at the bending details tools, we have them two icons, the bending details and the reinforcement schedule. And under there are a couple of extra tools as well. So we have the ability to create reinforcement schedules based on individual reinforcement assemblies. So for instance, we can do a reinforcement schedule that's going to do the whole project, but what we can also do is we can select individual elements and it will filter the schedule so that the schedule is filtered just to the elements that we want that to be done. We also have this schedule schemas for both reinforcement and for standard reinforcement bars and also for fabric. And this allows us to add images into our schedules. So the image option, it will calculate and create some files based on the scale and the size of our elements, and it will dimension these images, and we can actually get them to be displayed inside the schedule itself. We then have these bending details tools, and these will create drafting views and create all the imagery and all the annotation and the model elements and the detailed elements that we need within a detail that shows the particular piece of rebar, dimensions it up, and then will allow us to place that into our sections or elevations and get some more detail into our final drawings. Okay. So as I say, when we go to the reinforcement schedule, it will pull up this window here, and this allows us to either utilize the bar schedules that are created within the tool itself. So we have some standard schedules that have been created. You can use your own schedules as a template from either the current project, if it's already set up within your standard template that you're using on a project, but it will also give us access to link it to another Revit file and then link one of them schedules as a template. And there's various different options that we've got in there as well about how we then separate the schedules, how we then create or extend sort of the partitions of what we're actually then trying to detail as well. Here's the schedule schema, and as I say, what it will do is it will go through and it will generate these image files, and we can do an update on them, so we can redo them if the sizes change. But what it will do is it will show us a nice little graphical representation of actually what that is. So it's a nice little tool that adds this extra bit of information in there. From the bending detail itself, this is where here we are in a drawing. We've got the details set up in there for this particular section of reinforcement, but I'm then able to select one of the stirrups and it will then generate these nice little bending details with the dimensions on, etc. So we can start to see and understand exactly what's going on there and just add this next level of detail actually into our bending details. Okay, so let's have a look at how these all work. So let's just pop over into Revit. Okay, nice little simple setup at the moment. Just got a column and an isolated foundation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to generate some reinforcement in here. Obviously, we can use our manual tools to do this. So if I created here, I could then go to my server footing, PowerPack detailing. I can come into here and I can start to fully design how my bars are going to work, numbers, spacing, etc. And we can set that up for each of the elements. That tool is intelligent enough so that if I then go into my column and do the main bars again, and what it will now do is it detects that that is going to be a column, and rather than launching the footings tool, it's now changed it to a column. Okay, and what we can also do is I'm just going to select both elements, go to my detailing, and in this case I'm just going to use this the constructive dispositions to basically do some basic calculations on the reinforcement that's going in here. Okay, so this is basically just looked at the minimum requirements based on size. If I had some loads on here as well, I can run the calculations, so it will calculate it based on the loads. Also, what I can do as well is I can actually come in here, and if I've actually done some analysis on this, then it will come in and I can use the analysis results from Advanced Design to use that to then start to calculate. The reason why I'm getting errors here on my footings is because I've just got no loads set up in here as well, so it's struggling to calculate it. That's the reason why I'm getting a calculator with errors. Okay, so we can close that. Here we go. Here's now our reinforcement in there. Okay, let's just set that to a fine level of detail, and we've now got the reinforcement added in here. So what we now can do is, we've got the various different tools in here. First thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use this generate drawing. So we actually have a tool that will generate drawings for these individual elements. So I'm going to select both of them. Before I do that, if I just go into generate drawings, we actually have the ability to customize the drawings and the information that's going to go on here. So basically, we've got some templates for creating the drawings for the beam. Okay, we can customize these, so it might be that we've created our own templates, different templates for columns, footings, the title block information, so we can choose which title block we wish to use, and then we can also generate a schedule directly on the sheet. And again, we can customize this whether you want the schedule on the sheet or not. Obviously, depending on where you are in the world, there's obviously different standards. In the UK, we've got BS 8666, but different standards exist depending on where you are. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just OK out of there. I'm going to select the elements that I want drawings to be created for. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to generate the drawings. So this will create plans, sections, and elevations, and also the individual schedules as per each element. So one for the column, one for the foundation. What I can do as well is I can group them together. So at the moment it's going to generate a different drawing for each element. What I could do is I could get to generate one for. Now what it's doing here is the reason why it's coming up with this duplicate type is it's using a template file. So hidden in the background, there is a template file that is installed with the software, and it's pulling that information from. Okay, so as you can see here, it's pulled in the schedule, and we've got the bending schedule and the bending details up here as well. Okay, so we're starting to get the information in regarding each of these elements. And if I come down to my sheets, what we should find is it's also created another one here, for the columns as well. Okay, so it's created all these views. If you want, we can change the style of these as well. Okay, now whilst I'm in here and in this view, let me show you these bending details that we have here. And I quite like these because what I can do is I'm just going to activate this view. Now I'm just going to show the crop region a second, just because the bending detail will be placed here next to this view. So I just need to make sure I've got space. So if I now go back to my detailing, bending detail, I could just click on the top tool. We've got a clean and an update, and you'll see why this is here in a second. Go to the bending detail, select the element, so depending on which section of this I want. So select there, place where I want it to be placed, okay, and here we go. Okay, let's click escape, and I can then just tidy this up a little bit, just move that down there, and let's just move the annotation there as well. So that has generated now this bending detail based on the element that I've got selected. Okay. Now the one thing to be careful about, and this is the reason why we have the update, is this is a drafting view. So if I come over here, it's actually created these detail views. So we've got the detailing views there, and basically that is just 2D information. Okay. So what we've got to remember is this is not live information. Okay. It is just a 2D representation with the dimensions on. So if we change these, it's not got the usual bidirectional link, but it does know what it's associated to. Okay, so this is the reason why up here we have the update. So the update button will allow me to update should I change the size of reinforcement, whether I extend the hooks, etc. That will then allow me to very quickly just come in and update my information. But very nice little tool for being able to do that. If I go to my schedules, yeah, so here's the schedules, and we go to the here. So remember, this has got more information on than we need. Yes, so S8666, we don't need all of the codes. We can change that. I could have pointed this straight to my own BS8666 schedule. Yeah, so if I've already got a schedule set up in a project that's got all the information I need, then I can link that into that. And the other thing as well is, because of a template that I started with, you'll notice here that there's a small issue with my type 51s. Yeah, so it's got the wrong coding, but there are ways to update that and get that information correct in there as well. And what I can also do is I'm just going to edit this schedule, okay? And what we've got is I'm actually going to, we could remove the information that we don't need in here, but I'm also going to add into here an image, okay? So let me just put an image in here, okay? So I want to have an image that represents each piece of the reinforcement. You know, if I go to the standard schedule that comes with Revit, I've got this in here, yeah? And I could do the same thing even on that one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let's add it onto this one. Okay, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to add the image to the end. Okay, if I now go back to my PowerPack detailing, yeah, under the reinforcement schedule, this is where I can come in and I can select the schedule schema. Okay, and we do this, yeah. Just make sure I save the project first. Let's just do a save the project. So we'll just call it, so on my desktop, and we'll call it bending. So we'll just save that. So I now go to the reinforcement and we choose this schedule schema. What it will do is it will now generate an image for each one. Yeah. So you can see here we've got these files. Yeah. So it's created these images and it's saved them out. So we now have each of the views. If I actually just go, let's create a new sheet. Let's put that on. So let's just use the A3 sheet for the sake of argument. If I now drag and drop this onto here, let's just sort that out, place that there. Okay. What it's actually generated these image files, yeah, for each of the elements, yeah. Okay. So this is obviously listing it for the entire project, regardless of, and then we'll keep coming down. There's my 51s. Okay. So it's very good at being able to create these image files. And again, if things change, it's just a case of going back to our PowerPack detailing and then coming back in and we can rerun this. So if anything changes and we need to update that, then we can change that. Yeah. So you'll notice here that this is where the shape 3's gone a little bit astray. But what I can actually do is I actually come into my into my rebars into not there. Okay, into my shapes. Okay, so here's the shapes. And what we can actually do is just to get that 51 correct, let's just delete that one. And if I rename shape 3 to back to 51 because I used the wrong template. Okay, and now it's correct again. Okay, so we just got to be careful on the template that we use. But as I say, if we come into, as I say, whether we're doing if I go back to, let's go back to the 3D view. Okay. So if I just wanted to, let's create another schedule just for these elements as well. So where we can create these individual elements, individual schedules based on the element that I've got there. So I can go back into my PowerPack detailing, click on the reinforcement schedule. Yeah. Okay. And that will now generate a schedule. As I say, we can basically go, which template. Do we want to use one from a template? I can go current project, yeah, and choose the schedule that I want to use as the template. Okay, so the one that almost conforms to 866. Click OK, and it will then generate that schedule. Yeah, obviously I've already created all the image files, so they're in there as well. Okay, so really nice way of quickly generating our reinforcement details, our bending details. Obviously, if I go back to one of my sheets, go back to this sheet where I created that, if there was another element, let's go to the other one. Now, any element that I want to create in here, so let's activate this view. Let's just show the box. Just be aware that if you do create, if I go to my bending detail, I create a bending detail, say here, and I place that element there. Yeah, it's just inside there. You've got to be careful because, as I say, you might find that the annotation will display, because obviously the crop has got a slightly different crop region. And we can then maneuver that and just place the annotation where we need that to be. And again, there's my bending detail. So any element of reinforcement. And of course, this also works. This isn't limited to reinforcement that's been created using our tools in here. This tool will work for any reinforcement, regardless of whether that reinforcement is created using the Revit tools or the PowerPack tools. So again, even the images as well for the reinforcement schema will also work on reinforcement that's created with the default Revit tools. Really useful, very, very quick, very easy to use, and saves an awful lot of time when you're creating your details. Nice little easy one. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to drop them into the questions box. I'll just give you a couple of a minute just to see if there's any questions appearing into my question box. Do please remember to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you're interested in any of the webinars that we've got, please do get in touch and we can give you a link to the recording. No, it wouldn't. So a question, can the schedule include varying ranges? What it would do is it would generate a different bar for a different image, if you like, for each of the varying tapering forms. So it would have to be done separately. The rebar weight, yes, it can be generated from templates. We do actually have a template in there to generate the weights so that you can then put them weights onto your 8666 template. There are available the RFA families for that. So yeah, I know the weights going to the bottom of there. Yes, we can generate that from a template, no problem whatsoever. The link with advanced design does support Eurocode. So the question is there a tool to verify that rebar meets code? So that is actually within the advanced design side of things that will actually then start to give you that information. So thank you again for joining me on this. Hope that's been useful, and I look forward to seeing you again on one of my next webinars. Until then, stay safe.
Greatek.